I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome everyone once again to the Fort Salem Motherland AfterBuzz TV After Show. I got that a little mixed up only because I'm so excited. This is an action-packed episode full of drama, colorful wedding ceremonies, and lots of things to talk about. And we're going to get to all of it, but I'm not going to do it alone, obviously. I'm joined by my unit, Bryant Santos.
Hello. Sad there was not as many shirtless men in this one, but still loved it.
It's
Toree
great.
Weaver.
Yes, as you guys know, I am the Abigail stan, so I am pumped that my girl is here so that I don't feel jumped in this episode.
Gunner Teixeira.
What's up, everybody? I love this Supernatural, everything on it, and this show has my heart just as much.
And just like Toree was saying, we are joined by a very special guest. It wouldn't be a bellwether affair without her, Miss Ashley Nicole Williams.
Hi.
Hi. Everyone
Thank you
is
for
streaming
having
at
me.
home. Thank you
And
so
everyone in the
much
chat
for
is
being
screaming.
here. That's right. We are keeping an eye on everything in the chat, so please feel free to jump in on the conversation. We've got eyes on it. We thank you all so much for being here, for making us the ESPN of TV talk, and for helping us break down an amazing episode. We're going to start with the unit and unity. We're going to get into Scylla and her tagging along at the wedding, and then not just her, but the whole spree crashing the ceremony. Yeah, there's a lot to discuss, and we're also going to make time to talk with you, Ashley, since we're so happy to have you for a moment. But before we get into all of this, I want to hear some initial impressions. Toree, you've been Abigail's cheerleader from the beginning, so what are your thoughts on the episode?
My girl. Well, this really, just supports my argument that she's amazing. This episode was like, it took me through the emotions, honestly, because as y'all know, I am the Abigail stan. So seeing her get hurt, I was like, she cannot go in this episode. I felt like I was in the bathroom. Like I wanted to help because she just could not go out. I was like, this is not how we're going to end this. So it was so much going on. There were so many layers. Of course, the spree was just kind of like a climactic finale. So what do you guys think?
Brian?
Oh gosh, it was a lot happening. I really just wanted to slap Scylla and Abigail's mother, literally, because I was like, Scylla, stay in your lane. And the mother too, she just has so much drama, but I have to give her credit because she did save Abigail in the end. They worked together. It was an amazing fight scene. Happy to talk about all that. Loved it. And it was a good episode. I loved it.
I wholeheartedly agree with your sentiments about Abigail's mom. I was like, I still really don't like you, but I appreciate what you do.
Thank you
Gunner.
for saving our girl.
Really, I'm like, the only thing I can say about the mom is like, thanks for saving Abigail. And this episode really turned me around to Abigail because I see so much more of her, and I'm so ready to bash on Scylla and disrupting this wedding because I know Toree and I are even on the same page on this.
Yes.
I'm so.
Okay. I'm right there with you. I still can't stand the girl, but I'm going to hold off because Ashley, do you get a chance to watch your own work? Did you see the episode?
Yes, I did see the episode, and I've seen the first 6. I haven't seen 7, 8, 9, or 10, so I knew what I was getting into. Obviously I know what happens because I was acting in all of the 10 episodes, but
okay, so you do
on
live.
screen
That's
is
good to know. Okay.
so you do live. I don't know, do I? No, I'm kidding. Of course.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
My heart can't take it.
No, yeah, it was crazy to watch, and just seeing everyone's reactions to it. I think is always fun each week, especially live tweeting. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've live tweeted. That's okay. Well,
It's crazy.
My first comment that I would have tweeted was about how Abigail and Rayelle are arguing about their principles and whether or not Scylla should go to the wedding, but that's really not what they care about. They're totally arguing about something else. Rayelle just wants to bring her girlfriend, and Abigail is laser focused on making a good impression for her career.
War College. Yeah.
So
for
that's
sure.
what, in my opinion, they are really arguing about.
Oh, 1000%. And Abigail does not like Scylla in the slightest. So anything that first of all, it's kind of her event. It's a bellwether wedding. So it's I don't want anyone that I don't like here and ruining the chances of me getting to where I need to be. Period. We see Abigail, she's she's going up. She's kind of getting into that unity, but still, like anyone who jeopardizes that, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this
Period.
isn't the party. We had the party episode last week, like where
Yeah.
everyone could just like, yeah, everyone's invited. We're all gonna have a great time. Like this is a much
Yeah.
different ceremony.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I knew going in just because of the nature of television. I was like, man, that was the fun, colorful romp. This one's gonna get more nitty and gritty and dramatic. I just know it.
Yeah. It's super serious for Abigail too, because she has to uphold the bellwether name. So nothing can jeopardize that, because even like the smallest mess up, like her being late to the wedding and her mom's like, are you kidding? And I'm like the smallest thing can just like make it or break it for her. So having Scylla there was not pleasant.
Yeah, what was the word they used?
Shitbird?
Did I call her a shitbird?
Yeah.
Shitbird, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
shitbird
"Ooh,
issues, my soup kitchen of a unit.
Oh, that
All
was
of
the
those
best
lines
one.
are just
That's
ingrained in my brain. Oh yeah, my soup kitchen of a unit.
yeah,
so
no,
great.
Thank you.
she puts up a mean fight verbally. But yeah, her mother though, like giving her stuff for being late. She wasn't even late. She was on time. The unit was on
No.
time. They just weren't earlier.
I know.
And her mom was like, that's the level that Abigail is expected to be at by her mother, with this strict expectation. So Bryant, I know you wanted to talk trash about Mama Bellwether with me. Like man,
yes.
like she continues to be on the wrong foot for me.
Sure. So yeah, she just got a lot of issues. She has very, very dramatic. I mean, I know the whole thing. Like, I'm a business major, so I know like if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. So sure, I give her that. But besides that, still did not agree with all her drama. Like you said, she's just so hard on everybody, and it shows why Abigail is always so tense and always so on it, because her mother is just breathing down her neck. So it's very, very problematic for her mother. But like I said, I mean, the only thing I give her credit for is saving Abigail in the end. Other than that, I would have slapped her. So
I also gave her a little credit for her moment with Rayelle. I felt she was
Sure.
surprisingly compassionate and earnest.
But she
I actually
gave
thought that was fake though.
Rayelle a hug. She gave
Yeah.
her a hug, and she's never hugged Abigail in the show. And that has actually made me so mad.
I
Man.
noticed that.
So mad. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Toree, you noticed?
yeah,
Mhm.
in episode 4, when her mom comes back and like that little thing in the hallway, she like slaps her on the shoulder. She's like, good. And Abigail's just like, hi mom, like love you too. Like, and she hugged Rayelle, and I was just like, why? It made me mad. Yeah. I feel the
Tori.
same way you guys feel. Like, I think guys a little
Tori, I got to hear your thoughts on this.
There's a lot going on there, because in a way, like deep down in me, I can understand why Abigail's mother is the way that she is. Like, I can understand it. Do I like it all the time? No. Do I not understand, like you said, why she gave Rayelle a hug and has never given Abigail a hug even when she was nearly dying? Don't really agree, but I kind of understand the discipline that she wants to instill in Abigail, because I mean, if we're being honest, it worked. Like Abigail is very strong. She's able to carry the unit when they need it. She's able to reinstill those boundaries when they forget. And I think that her methods have kind of worked. Are they, different? Yes. Are they a little strict? Yes. Sometimes when they feel a little distant and not as warm as like a motherly figure. Yes. But at the same time, I can kind of understand that, because you have to be the example that you want your kids to be. So the same way that her mother is challenging General Alder, like that's that same strength that she put in Abigail. So while it is, like I said, very distant and cold at times, I can understand her mindset, because I mean, and we've seen family members pass in this series and stuff like that, and you kind of have to be built a certain type of way to be able to handle all of this. I mean, I've been to a lot of weddings and I haven't had to deal with that. So I can only imagine, the kind of invisible armor that you had to have on to prepare for something like that. And I think, honestly, if anybody else was placed in that bathroom, I don't know if it would have ended the same way.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Mother does know best. What do you think, Gunner?
sometimes.
I completely agree with Tori on the point of like where it comes from, why it is, and like even the like underlying tones I can agree on. Like it's like the military family, they're raised on structure, they're raised on high Atlantic. or morale and like they are the best of the best. They have to live to that standard. Like nobility and the crown isn't a heavy burden to wear. Like you have to meet that standard still to hang on to it and stay at that place. And do I always agree with it? No. I'm a person that like I know going into the meeting, I'm always early because then you're on time. But if a person like arrives on time, I don't see them as late. So that's where it's like a give and take. But I just wasn't here for it the whole time except for that fight scene because that was my favorite part of this whole episode. And honestly, I thought Tally was gonna die because she saw this because this is not gonna be Tally's episode, and then Abigail was like, if we can't lose two, and we can't lose one, I'm not okay in this whole episode. I was just stressed and anxious, so it ended on a good note. So I was just happy with how it ended. I'm like, okay, we're fine.
Yes.
Well, it still ended on a much.
Are we fine? Are we?
We're
really
fine for now.
We're fine for now. It's a good enough fine. It's a good enough fine.
Good enough. Okay, fine for now. I'll get because the last episode ended where like they were friends and they were working together arm in arm. Like they are a unit now, and so it only makes sense that they would come into this much where the stakes are raised at this event, that they each come in with their own personal baggage, and that's what tears them apart. They're so focused on their own issues that they completely disintegrate as a unit within moments when it really mattered, meeting with the dean. So
and who
Rayelle,
was there with the dean? Abigail was still there.
Yeah, well,
it didn't matter. She got a slept walk, and she still would have been there enough. So,
but Abigail wanted to make a name for herself.
she wants to.
She wanted to do that.
I love this. Oh my god, yeah, Scylla was dramatic. Okay, I want to also talk about Rayelle. Like when that whole went down with Anacostia, and Rayelle was just sticking her tongue down Scylla. I was like, hey girl, that's extra. You're doing 9 much. I was like, you really don't have to go there. But I don't know.
So they came together as a unit in the last episode, but now they're going right back to who they were at the start of the show. Abigail was hyper career focused to the point where she's kind of blindsided with her team. Rayelle was pitching fights with the establishment because that's what Rayelle do, and Tally is lovingly present in the situation, and that's always been a good thing for her. She's always had the one who's kind of had a level head on her shoulders, but because she's so present in the moment, when that moment is one that kind of devastates her and is really personal, she can't get out of it. That was my take, at least.
Sure.
Yeah, Gunner, what'd you think?
My heart broke for Tally because we all know I've been Tally's biggest fan on this show. Jessica's one of my favorite. I was not okay with this. I was pissed. I started tweeting at Kai. I was like, you know what? I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm so upset. I'm disappointed. But I was like, you know what? I know TV. I feel like I have good judgment. Like, there's no way they're gonna make this end so poorly. He's gonna leave her for her. I really do think he's in love with her. He's gonna leave the other girl for her, Tally. I want to believe it. And I'm like, there's no way any of them could expect less of Tally to basically her first love literally break her heart in public, like right then. Like if anyone said to her to have it together, even Abigail, I'd say, you dumb. Like you're ridiculous. You have no clue what it means to be in love then.
The fact that Abigail held her hand, I was just like, we've come so far. I'm so proud.
Yeah. She's trying to brace her friend and support her preemptively. That I loved that little moment. Well, it was and it was also kind of earlier during the wedding, it was Tally who put her hand on Abigail's shoulder, just not that it was that kind of moment for Abigail, but just to be like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing that. Yeah, real quick. Toree, you're my alternate universe expert. Do wedding rehearsal ceremonies not exist in this universe? Because everyone knew exactly what they're doing. My God.
Yeah, we usually don't get those. We just skip to the most dramatic version of the wedding possible, like people walking on water down the aisle and things like that. We just usually skip rehearsal dinners, planning. It just seems like everything is just so accustomed. And I think that's with alternate universes, they always have this weird marriage custom to where everything just kind of falls into place. So I think we rarely see a rehearsal dinner, and honestly that's where all the mess ups and drama usually happens anyway. So I think it's better that we just don't see that.
It's for the big show. I've been to a lot of weddings too, and every time I go to the rehearsal dinner and they're like, okay, now you walk. Is it pairs? I'm like, how do people not figure this out yet? And this one, it was like quite the ceremony. Everyone had a part. There was an
Yeah.
order for
Choreography.
everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I actually
sing
took some
songs.
notes. I was like, I might have to incorporate this into mine. This is
I
nice.
liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
Little
All right,
rope
getting back on
thingy.
track though. I don't think was Rayelle present for that though.
Mm-mm.
The ceremony. I
Is she
kind of
ever
lost
present?
track of where she was.
She's
Exactly.
not. She was off doing her own drama
ever?
as usual.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Bryant, you mentioned you wanted to talk about Rayelle. Let's do it. Man, she was not part of the unity at all. She was so
Yes.
like almost obsessively attached to
Sure.
Scylla on this.
So I gave her credit at the beginning because she did listen to Abigail and she actually didn't invite Scylla. She told her not to come. But of course, Scylla's part of the spree, so that all changed. But but she could have took it a step further if she really did, like you said, wanted to be in unity. She could have asked her to leave, but she didn't. And she chose Scylla over her unit, as she's been doing for the last 5 episodes, which is just so bad. And it, like I said, she was just being extra. Like she should have kept it more low key and could have been like, I'm so sorry that this happened, and I'm gonna kind of just keep Scylla here, but not be as present. But she was shoving it down everybody's throats, and I was like, I'm here for an LGBT relationship, but I'm not here for this one. So I'm like, so it was not it for me.
Yeah, as soon as she saw Scylla, she broke off from her group, and she never really was in line with her group
You're
again.
so stressed, Toree.
Ain't stressed. That ain't stressed.
She introduced
Disappointment.
her like when it was the unit's time to be introduced. Toree, if you want to say something, go right ahead.
It's just rude. It is so rude. Like beyond, of course we know that Rayelle doesn't know as much as we know in terms of like her being a part of the spree. Great. All that aside, it's still rude. If somebody asks you to not come, especially to a wedding, and we are paying per plate, you do not show up. And you are not invited. You don't do that. So that already blew me. And then, like you said, when she came up, Rayelle should have like kind of taken her unit side, because like I said, it is rude. Like whether someone is your lover or your friend, you still should be able to tell them when they're wrong. And I feel like she didn't do that, which kind of served as an excuse for her behavior, because it was rude. Whether you're part of the spree or not, you don't just show up unannounced, especially to someone's wedding, that's specifically at someone's house. That's rude. Then Rayelle, like you said, is over here introducing her to everybody. This is not that type of party. You supposed to play the bat. Like I felt like it was just so rude. Like she was making all these decisions for Scylla, and I understand that, like, that's your girlfriend, I get it, but this is just not the place. And like I said, this is literally Abigail's event, and you are the plus one. Plus ones don't invite plus ones.
She said the general. Yeah, go ahead, Gunner.
Spree aside, even if she was just her girlfriend and like she had nothing to do with the spree, she was just, a regular girl, it is just super rude. And I felt like Rayelle didn't do her part in addressing the fact that it was still rude.
I'm like, you don't mess with weddings. Weddings are invite only. It is the ultimate invite only. You say, sweetie, I love you. I'm so glad you're here, but why are you here? You got to go. You say Abigail. I was so ready for like Abigail. I wanted her to like fight. I was ready thinking Abigail was gonna blow up on her, and Rayelle just was like, she didn't get a chance to have a fight. I was like, what's we're not, oh, you're gonna do what? Okay, so Rayelle,
So when Rayelle asked her, like, how did you get here? Like, Scylla's not even bothering to deflect anymore.
She just ignores it. She straight up ignores it. What? I was like, no. And nobody's gonna question. I was like, that's exactly. I was like, love that you're being supportive of your girlfriend. Love that like no one has a problem with the girlfriend. No one has a problem. You and me in a relationship, but it's like this ain't the place for it.
I was a little shook that like nobody else had a problem with it. Obviously, the Bellwether clan was like, "What? You don't belong here," and I'm amazed she didn't get straight up kicked out. Like, these people, I'm sure they got enough money to hire security.
Security.
Well, I think that like Abigail's mom didn't want to make a scene.
Sure.
I think maybe she says that when she pulls me aside after. I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't want to make a scene there to throw someone out. I mean, maybe like peace. But no, I just think that was probably the best way to handle it. In a sense, and Rayelle's not gonna listen anyway. She's stubborn. She'd be like, "Okay, if Sylla leaves, I leave too." And it's like,
and she could go. She could go.
Bye.
Get the stuff. She can go. Well, they can pull back together.
Yeah, I mean, but then if that was the case, then Abigail would just be like, "Well, I need you here for the Dean of War College meeting. What am I doing?" So it's a lose-lose lose situation.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I actually really appreciated Quartermain finally. Like,
Oh.
not like she finally won me over in this moment of
Okay.
all moments. I was like, okay, you are trustworthy. You are part of the team, because she was like basically Mama Bear to the unit
Yeah.
and to the Bellwethers as a whole. The
Mhm.
only one who was willing to do something about Scylla. So oddly enough, I now am totally backing Quartermain as a trustworthy member of the military here, because she was
Okay.
ready to call people out. Like, she can make a scene for the generals.
Yeah. 1000%.
Uh, Gunner, do you agree or disagree on me?
I've always stand on Acacia. She's been one of my favorites. She's the one I trusted. If we get into our predictions, I have some other like theories that just immediately happened, but I always was like, I liked how like Tally went to her and that Tally could, and that Anacostia was willing to be like, you aren't invited. And like I was like, thank you, somebody said it. You weren't invited, but also that she was like, all right, you're gonna break the rules. You can know the consequences when we get back to Fort Salem because I'm gonna run you through it.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Save
Okay.
your predictions. I really look forward to hearing them.
And I'm just sitting here like I know it all. And like
I know.
I'm
like,
trying to have a
I'm just gonna be
poker
looking
face.
at you. I'm just gonna be looking at you like.
I know. I'm just like,
Okay.
I still,
well,
I mean, I kind of trust her now too. I do agree with you, Kevin, that she did give me a little more trustworthy vibes this time. But there's just, there has to be somebody untrustworthy, so I feel like it's her. I can't fault my second cousin General Alder because she's just a goddess, like, you know, getting her arch when she was getting it from Witch Daddy. So I gotta trust
Yes.
her.
Knew you were bring that up. Knew you were gonna mention that.
I mean, Scylla is the untrustworthy one here.
That's obvious.
Oh yeah.
So like the only reason she didn't get found out by the end of the episode, even though Tally overheard her and saw her talking to the spree, is because there was just so much drama going on that Tally didn't want to like pile it on. So that's the only thing saving Scylla right now, is just that everything is a tire fire around her. So, but it's only a matter of time until Tally ousts her further than she already did with
Yeah, she better
Quartermain.
than me.
Mhm.
So I do have to say that what's up, Ashley?
Tori was like, she's better than me.
Mhm.
That was
I'm like,
so
your
funny.
girlfriend? Yeah,
I
she's
would
a
have. Yeah.
murderer.
I've been running. I would have gone running in there. Gone
So
running.
now what?
I know.
Told you so.
Everybody
Told
would
you
have
so.
known.
Natural
right.
bulb.
I'm gonna drop a hot take though. Oh man, Scylla's genuine though about her feelings with Rayelle. Like
Mhm.
that, I think is
Mhm.
real,
Mhm.
and I don't know what to do with
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think
Oh, mhm.
that's why we saw that delay in the thing. I think it wasn't just that like maybe Scylla is like a good person or she doesn't know what the spree want with Rayelle, and so she's like waiting. I think she really is in love with Abigail, and not Abigail, Rayelle.
Oh,
And
with
I know
me?
bigger plot.
like,
oh my gosh, ultimate plot. Like, you figured it out. You figured it out.
Save your predictions, Gunner.
That she's like, what if she kills Rayelle? What if they like she morphs Rayelle? Whatever the spree do to their fault. I don't know, but that's why she was so hesitant, and that's why she was just like, I always loved you and everything, and that's why she's like gone wherever she went, and that's I'm not here for it. But I definitely with a tour, I would have been running in there. I've been like, spree.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What
Brian,
I think
I saw
about
you
that,
shaking your head.
yes. What I think about that is I think that my problem with it is because I love a good like bad boy, bad girl relationship. Like I love some Klaus Michelson and Caroline, like really like someone that's so crazy off the wall bad and someone that's so good. So I think that's what my issue is with this because Scylla is like, you know, kind of technically like a spy, so she's not really all the way bad. So that's why she's like peeking at those little moments of like, oh, do I really love her? Or am I worried about more like my mission? Like I like the people where it's just like my mission is like the priority. Like, sorry, I'll kill Rayelle too. So like so that's why I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Mm-mm.
Toree.
No, I don't. Honestly, I knew you guys were gonna bring this up, and I was like, I'm gonna sound so insensitive,
How could I
but
not?
I
I
don't care that she has
Mhm.
genuine feelings. Like, I honestly don't care. Honestly, and I think Brian, I think you kind of unpacked something for me. I don't do a bad boy because I feel like if you love me, you would never put me in danger. And
Sure.
so I
Mm.
just don't
That.
understand, like, that's when love becomes conditional, because keep that over there. Are
She
trying
said
to
it.
put me in danger. You can keep all that love, you can bottle it up and put it somewhere where I can't find it, because that's not love to me. So they can be genuine, you had a good time, you found somebody, okay, great. But no, it just doesn't negate everything that's happened, because it's just like, you're putting so many people in danger. You're putting me in danger, because the spree can't, guarantee my safety. They can't even guarantee your safety. They almost killed you. So
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, no, you could just keep that over there. And it's just like, she's already wasn't really telling the truth all the time anyway. So it's just, girl, it's tired. It's tired.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Thank you, Toree. Thank you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. If she really loved Rayelle, she would have been honest with her at any
From the
point.
jump. Yeah.
Yeah, at any point. She's given so many opportunities to come clean and hasn't done it at all.
Or
And
remove herself. Remove
Or
yourself
that.
from the situation. If you feel
Yeah.
like you genuinely
Yep.
care, you would have removed yourself so that she wasn't in danger. That's what love is.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody listening out there.
This
ain't it.
That's it.
Here's
That's
the
it.
definition.
Hello?
Thank you,
That's
Toree.
not
Thank
it.
you, Miss Toree.
The least she could have done, and be like, oh, by the way, I maybe heard that a flock of balloons is coming in to destroy the
I
party.
don't think she knew that, though. I don't
I
think she knew
heard.
that. I don't think
You
she
don't?
knew that. I don't think she knew that.
Okay.
That's
What do
my
you think?
biggest.
Mhm.
That's my biggest. I think that how like you said, get her to Penelope Street. I don't know why I can remember that, but I was like Penelope Street. I was like, that's such a weird name, but for a street name, I don't know why. But they were like, get her there, go. I think she didn't know that was coming and be there at 6 p.m. because that's why she needed gone, because for more plot reasonings that I have ideas about.
I can't wait to hear your predictions.
I have so many. This episode just brought so many to me right now. Like the whole episode, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my
Where
gosh.
do you guys think she is? Scylla. Just wondering.
On the beach, that beach she was talking about.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's the safest place for Scylla, but it's a safe place. It's away from whatever the spree are doing, at this
I
wedding.
was kidding. I don't think she's at the beach. I don't know where she is.
Okay.
I just threw it out there because that's what I could think of.
Honestly,
well,
I thought
so-
she got swept up. And I was
In the
like, good, take her. Yeah.
So
Toree,
you
Pause.
you raise a really good point. There is a lot more to the spree's master plan for that wedding than just Scylla's part. It seems that the entire wait staff, or at least a good portion of it, who have gone completely unnoticed, as often is the case at these extravagant, wealthy events, turned out to be the perfect opportunity to sneak in spies and assassins and the like. And they commit murder of the bride. Gruesome. Like, I did not see that coming, like, at all. That hurt.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt
rough.
a lot. Like, at my wedding? You gonna kill me at my wedding?
She
I know.
finally got
Jeez.
to
Before
wear
it
the
even happened.
dress.
Before it even happened.
Like,
Didn't even
it was-
consummate.
I knew it was something when she was when she closed the bathroom door. I was like, just something about her being by herself. Just it's not.
Mhm.
I don't think this is the place. I just no. I feel like she needs like security, maybe. I don't know, but it just.
And what's really bad is right after she closed the door, I remember. Well, actually, it was when Abigail was walking in the room. I remember seeing from the trailer video the bloody bathroom. And I was like, oh no! And the door opened. I was like, and that next scene.
I know.
Yeah,
ugh.
that's
Gruesome for freeform.
CGI'd. It was CGI'd.
I said
Oh,
freeform.
really?
Okay.
Look at technology.
I know.
Yeah, I
I know.
saw that and I was like, am I seeing that wrong? Is this like a trick of the light or
Is this
something?
for real?
Yeah, it was
What?
because it was bad.
Yeah.
Um,
I
They
actually
cut
thought it
out
was
her
like she was
vocal
gonna
cords.
kill herself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was my initial thought. Like I thought it was gonna be this whole
Oh.
thing of like all the pressure from her family and all this like build up in her life, like whatever backstory she has, was gonna lead her
Yeah.
down that road. So that
I
was
kind of
like,
had that idea for like 30 seconds as well.
right. Mm-hmm.
Until I
But she
saw
was
like
so
until they kind of
happy.
started showing it again, I was like, okay, no, this wasn't like a suicide thing.
Mhm.
But I did have that idea for like 30 seconds because she was just kind of like I said, she was just very content with just like locking herself in the bathroom for however
Mhm.
long. And like I said, we've all been to our fair share of weddings, and it's not
Yeah.
really common for like the bride or groom to just go missing by themselves during the wedding.
Completely
Right.
solo.
So I was kind of like, why did she want to do that? She hasn't even, usually people soak their feet after they wore the heels all
Mhm.
day. So I was like, this is something about this is kind of not adding up, but I just wasn't sure what it was. But maybe she did just want to soak her feet. I don't know.
That's really interesting that you guys thought that. Oh, that's so
I know it
cool.
was. What like for that scene even like what was like going like how far before even going to the bathroom did you know about that like that was what you were going to be walking into like into that scene?
As Abigail,
Mhm.
I'm like as Ashley, I knew it the whole time. No, as Abigail, I think she doesn't know what's going on until she hears that sound. And the sound is immediately just like her mom when she was walking through the hallway to find Abigail, she heard that and knew something was off. And so like when that happens and I can't get into the bathroom and I can't even like use a sigil to unlock the door is like an issue. So that sound took away our powers. And so
Mhm.
that's why I couldn't wind strike them away. That's why my mom couldn't wind strike them away. So I think initially that's when they know there's something wrong because of what the spree are using to prevent our powers.
I could
Yeah.
see it on each of your faces.
Mhm.
Like this, it was completely crystal clear to me that there was some enchantment that was preventing you guys from harnessing your abilities, and thus you had to completely change your strategies going in. It was all over both your and your mother's faces.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
great
I
job
watched
on that,
your
by the way.
the one with Elliot, the after
Oh
the
yeah,
show, and it talked about how it's the
the
chess piece.
breastplate on the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh wait, sorry. What is it?
Interesting.
It's
There was like a
the
chest plate that
yeah,
Yeah.
was making the noise, right?
yeah, that one of
Noise to
the
Oh,
prevent
die
them.
okay.
waiter had on him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the sound was coming from.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
wasn't as clear to me. I think once he had died, something about the shot, I thought I could see it, and that I finally
Mhm.
figured it out. But initially, I didn't have it. I just knew things had gone south.
very.
So
Accurate.
yeah, there's the bride is no longer with us, and there's this gruesome fight. I mean, Abigail gets pretty bloodied up with the 2-on-1 there, and we know she can
Yep.
hold her own, but she's still new to combat, taking on what I'm assuming are seasoned assassins. But she held her own, as we talked about earlier, thanks to Mama. Mama busts in, and then suddenly it's a fair fight.
Oh,
Man,
it's
oh man, was
on.
that entertaining,
That
huh?
was so
I
good.
said, oh, it's on.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Yes.
loved it.
that was
I gotta
it.
say, I didn't expect this from a freeform show. I don't know why I didn't, because I've seen other
Mhm.
freeform shows and I know that they can be action packed, but there was something about the way this one was shot that it was an action film, just like
We
Mhm.
right out the
had
gate.
the lovely MJ Bassett to direct this episode. And I know she does a lot of action, so she knew immediately what she was doing. It was like she signed on for this fight in the wedding,
Oh, great.
which was just so cool. And like I did all my stunts, which was wild.
Yes.
Nice.
On.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I was pretty
Okay.
bruised up, and like when you do your stunts, they treat you like a stunt woman. Like I felt like one. So
Well,
I
as
know
they
there was
should.
oh, I know, but like I didn't know like how like they really like get into it. I'm like, jeez, oh my
So,
god. Yeah.
can I ask what your stunt experience was before this?
Oh, nothing.
Oh
I love this even
man,
more. I love this even
Like
more.
damn.
nothing at all. I mean,
I'm
like I've
impressed.
played sports, but that's like as close as I could get to stunts. Like I've never done anything stunt related at all.
Yeah, but like,
So
I don't know. I'm not a sports guy. I'm an actor who's done stunts. Do they teach you how to fall in sports? Like, I mean,
no, I
you don't
mean
just throw yourself into stunts. But I
I
mean, you apparently do, and
that's what like all of us did on the show. Um we'd have the weekend when we weren't shooting and to with our stunt coordinator to learn it, and yeah, we just learned the choreography and how to just like stuff like that, and that's what we did. So
I got to give mad props to you, to the stunt team, and to MJ for pulling that off then, because
oh,
I
thank
never
you.
would have guessed. Cool, awesome.
Thanks.
Ah, I love hearing
Thank
that.
you.
Okay, fab. So after that kick-ass fight and the witches outside taking care of the balloons, man, that whole scene, I just loved it. I loved it. I loved
Right?
it. I loved it. Yeah, Gunner, geek out with me. Do it.
I just I Also, at first I was kind of I think I wanted to be a little annoyed, but actually, the more I kept thinking about it, I appreciate how centered Mom Bellwether and everyone was. It wasn't like hysteria, which I was like, to me, I'm like, it was still a bit unrealistic. I feel like somebody there wasn't military, so they were gonna stress out when they see balloons. But also how everyone was just like, all right, formation, go here, like start doing whatever their music magic is thing. I still can't even like process it. And I'm just like, it's so cool, but also I was like, that was so just on point with it all. I'm like, all right, this is Bellwether time. This is Bellwether like scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got like one of the greatest military dynasties hosting this, and there's the whole wedding party is military. The guests who aren't, they were immediately ushered indoors by the lower tier cadets. Like, I mean, clearly the generals knew what to do, and everyone followed protocol as I would expect the military. Like, it was handled just like any other emergency crisis. It just happened to be one at I don't want to call it civilian estate, but certainly not a military location. So I think it was great. And it let us just get right to the meat of the action and enjoy the spectacle of it all, which is good because it made more time for that aftermath. And we get to see the girls come together at the end. And I feel like as much as the last episode was them becoming friends and being a unit, this was their bonding moment. Like now they are a tight unit.
1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. The end of episode 5 is definitely where we see a change in the whole squad, the whole unit, and like individually as well, I would say, but because they've changed individually, they've come together in a sense. So that's why I love that ending scene, because now we see that, like, okay, these people are really gonna like start loving and caring about each other, which I always love to see in a series. So that's cool.
I feel like they're, as much as they were completely unfocused and separate this episode, I feel like now they're going to kind of be more of one mind. And I've seen how each one of them can be on their own, like taking out those mannequins with the scourge, but now I can't wait. I can't wait. But before we get into Gunner's predictions, Ashley, we want to make sure that we take some time with you, because again, we are so appreciative of your time being here.
Thank you.
We're going to do a little Q&A if that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, again, if you guys are on the live chat, we got eyes on it, so feel free to drop your questions and we'll try to get them in. Toree, do you have a question for Ashley?
Yes, and it's actually going back to that amazing bathroom battle scene, because you were just thrown into stunts and that was kind of like a tight space. I mean, you were in a bathroom. What was that? How did you prepare for that scene?
There wasn't really a way I could prepare for it, like stunt wise. I mean, they built, that was actually a set. So like we were in a stage and they built the room and the bathtub and all that. And we just rehearsed in that set, that space. But I mean, of course I had to prepare myself before, like get into the mind zone of like, okay, my cousin's dead. I didn't have the luxury of seeing the her throat being cut out. So it was just like Bernadette's actual throat there. And I'm just like, okay, let's imagine this. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, I just went over it time and time again with our stunt coordinator to prepare for it. And you do have to be mindful of the small space you're in, because you know the camera's in there when you're working and doing all this too, and it's not just one camera, there are like 3 trying to film it from every angle. So it's really hard, and you try like not to hurt people. I almost gave something away. There's something in episode 8, and I have another fight scene, and I accidentally punched a girl. Like yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just everything, just it's happening so fast and so quickly. Also, don't know if I answered your question, but I hope I did. That was a ramble. So there we go.
Totally fine.
Bryant.
Yes, I'm gonna jump in on the chat. They have some great questions. I actually think it'd be also good for all of us to talk about with you as well. What do you think about the whole idea of the wedding? How it's only like a 5-year commitment. It's not like a marriage for life.
Well, that explains how Abigail has 5 fathers, honestly. So you didn't. Yeah, he's writing it down as I say this. No, she has 5 fathers, and you didn't really get to see them. They kind of, I think our show ran really long, so they had to cut some pieces out of that episode. But we'll explain it later. But I don't know. So basically, it's like each guy that you meet, I guess it's like if you meet one guy and he's funny, and you want that characteristic in your child, and the next guy is smart, and then
I
the other
love
one,
that.
yeah.
Build
So
a
you
baby
put,
workshop.
yeah, you like put all of those characteristics, is how Elliot explained to me,
God.
into your child. I think in this world, especially with Abigail, she just doesn't limit herself to one guy. So
Mhm.
I think even 5
Yeah.
years would be hard for her. It was hard for her mother, obviously. She needed 5. But yeah, I just think in this world, they just care about fighting and, fertility and things like that. So it's,
Yeah, I love
great.
I
that. When
think
you
that's
pulled that guy into
yeah.
the back, I was ready.
I know,
And I
right?
think that's super interesting because we always see the parallel between Abigail and her mother. I think it'll be interesting if we do get to see later in the series what her fathers are like and what characteristics she got from them.
That
Yeah.
would be interesting. Gunner.
That's a good idea.
I'm so like now complex, and I just want to talk to Elliot more. I just more and more want to talk to Elliot. Like, how does this? Anyways, with the show, then like how much has this taught you about yourself and taught about your own character, and how much has Abigail impacted you and yourself?
Yeah, I would definitely say Abigail and Ashley are very, very similar people. I'm not as big of a queen bee as she is, but I'd say through and through we're the same. And like as I was shooting over the 6 months, I learned, as Abigail was learning about herself, I learned about myself. So Abigail, not only does her mom put pressure on her, but she puts pressure on herself. And that's something that I, as Ashley, do a lot. And I don't want to fail either. And I just want to make everyone proud, and make myself proud. And that's a really big thing that Abigail has to overcome. So as you know, those situations were addressed on the show, I kind of addressed them in my own sense in myself.
That's great. We love to hear all about that. And then a follow-up question: who'd you punch in episode 8? Who was that fight with? Just out of curiosity.
Tell me, I can't.
I try.
I know. But you'll know. You'll see the scene and you're just like, I'm pretty sure there's a clip of it in one of the trailers where I like punch real quick and it goes to the beat. I definitely punched that stunt woman for real. So that was.
Let me go watch the trailer because
Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for it now. I'll be like, where's this punch at?
All right, well, Gunner, I know you're itching to drop your thoughts about what's to come, so let me hear your prediction.
So I mean, I'm gonna limit it. What, as much as we know I've loved Anacostia, how calm, and I think that's probably why when the Bellwethers weren't so reactive to the balloons and how calm Anacostia was, it made me start to think, what if she is a silent agent for the spree and she's the one that we shouldn't trust? I still think she's a good person, and like on the good guy side, but I think she's like, crap, one of my fellow agents got caught. I have to like diffuse Tally, because I really didn't think Tally was going to survive this episode. I thought she saw the spree, she touched the mirror. I was like, she's done. This is not going to end well for her. So that was one of my biggest ones. That's what my biggest prediction was, and I was like, oh no.
That's really good. It's a really good thought.
Well,
you're looking at me like,
I know. I'm like, I have like a list. I have a whole page worth, but I'm not going to do that to you. And I was like, I feel like eventually I'll just crack you, and I'm not going to do that on camera.
Bryant, Toree, do either of you have any idea of what's to come?
Toree, you go, because I want to hear what you have to say. I'm
trying to figure out why Alder wasn't there. Because it seemed like everyone
She's getting there, girl. She's getting there.
Well, she didn't take a break.
Somebody's got to be back at the base. Everyone else is here.
Yes, but it just seemed like this was a very high up wedding. It wasn't just like some rinky-dink wedding of like somebody who we don't know. This is a bellwether wedding, and to see the president or dean of War College there, I mean, like everybody's there. Like the who's of the who's are there. So it was kind of like, girl, why you not there?
Why is the who of the who?
Bryant might be onto something because Witch Daddy also was not there.
I knew it.
Exactly.
My prediction, fertility, we're here for
That's true. But at some point we had to take a break. And so it was just kind of, I don't know. I kind of want to know if they're in the next episode that they're going to kind of like pan to her once she gets the information that the spree crashed the wedding, and how she's going to react. But that honestly, I just don't trust her. So I probably want her to be a part of it in some type of way so I can be right. But it was just, I don't know. A part of it was just kind of like, girl, somebody can watch the base. That's clearly not the issue because the spree was at the wedding. They weren't at the base. Then why wasn't your tail at the wedding?
Yeah, and we know that Adler likes a party, or Alder likes a party, you know, from the last episode.
Exactly.
So
that would have been the perfect time for her and Witch Daddy. So why wasn't she there, Brian? Why wasn't she there?
Bryant, any thoughts before we say goodnight?
Honestly, I feel like I don't know what's gonna happen because the way they set it up was like they set up for so much, but not something specific, you know. So I definitely think there's so many roads that can be traveled. I just want Scylla to get exposed just because I think that she's just ruining everything for everybody. And I also want Rayelle to wake the hell up before I slap her along with Abigail's mother. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
We can only hope.
So do
all right,
my
and
theories now?
Yes,
yes, all of them.
How would you write it, Ashley?
I wish I could tell you guys like everything that's happening.
It's good. I'm thoroughly enjoying the show, and I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next week, but we're going to have to wait until then. So until we're back next week for another live after show, Ashley, where can the fans find you online?
They can find me on Instagram at Ashley Nicole Williams. Yes, or Twitter, Ashley Nick Will. I think those are the only social medias I have. I'm like thinking, yep, those are the majors.
The only social medias anyone's using. Don't worry.
I know, right? No,
TikTok.
But yeah. Oh,
that's true.
You don't want to follow my TikTok.
I want to follow your TikTok.
It's so bad. Like I make them for me and my 5 friends that follow me. And it's just like, what are you doing with your life?
All right, yeah. Well, Bryant, you're on TikTok, so where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at the Bryant Santos, and also on AfterBuzz TV's Quarantine with the Stars.
Let's
Sorry.
Yes, you can find me, y'all. I promise I'm gonna change my Instagram name. My
Instagram
is Toxic Model. I know I've been saying that. I'm looking for like the right one, but I made it up in high school and it just always stuck. But anyway, Instagram is at Toxic Model and Twitter is Toree with 2 E's. So until the name change, you can find me there.
Gunner.
I still all my 8s. On Instagram you can find me at Gunner_Thomas88 or Twitter at GunnerThomas888. I like 8's my favorite number, and Gunner Thomas is taken. 8. Gunner Thomas apparently taken. I didn't know there was anyone else in the world named that. So
well, I have like the most basic name. Like if you think about it, every Ashley I meet, her middle name's Nicole. There's another Ashley Williams actress, which is funny. That's why I have the Nicole in there to differentiate a little, but it's fine. I feel you. I feel your pain.
It has to be professional, but it has to add character. And then I don't like underscores because that makes it ugly. And it's just like,
okay, thanks. Okay.
First world problems. Goodbye.
Not did I say ugly? I meant not my thing.
Trying to cover it up now.
Ashley, if it makes you feel any better, I've been Kevin Allen. You all can find me at Twitter at Kevin Allen Says, or Instagram at Kevin Allen Graham. I'm not the guy from Anyone Knows by the Trail of the Dead. I'm not the guy who was on The Apprentice. I'm not the director of Agent Cody Banks 2. And I'm not Kevin Scott Allen, who is a great actor, but he's not me. So that's where y'all can find me. Thank you all so much for being. I appreciate it, Ashley, because you know my
I do. I feel it.
Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. We really do appreciate it. You've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. This has been a great show, and I appreciate everyone who tuned in for it. We will see you next week. Have a good night.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.